Hello again. Whenever I have suggested that there may be more than one human species in the world, there are howls of outrage from some quarters, accompanied by a barrage of complaints to YouTube accusing me of racism. This idea seems to be peculiarly revolting to some people. It is one of the chief accusations levelled against me by Hope Not Hate, for instance, that I have said that it is likely that black Africans belong to a different species from white Europeans. I find all this very puzzling. After all, this was without doubt the situation some years ago, and it would not be in the least bit unlikely that we could still see something of the same thing today. 60,000 years ago, there were at least four human species occupying Africa, Asia, and Europe. In Africa, there were Homo sapiens and also other more primitive human types, probably Homo erectus. In Europe and Western Asia were Neanderthals. In parts of Asia, there were Denisovans, and in the rest of Asia, there were Homo erectus. Each of these species had a particular geographical domain. As the various species mingled, some of the DNA and characteristics of the species were retained and survive to this day. That is why people in Europe look different from those in Africa or Asia, and why they have slightly different DNA. They interbred, you see, with the Neanderthals and inherited from them some useful features. The same thing happened in Asia with the Denisovans. It is because of DNA from this species that Tibetans find it easier to live at high altitudes than either Europeans or Africans. I don't think it necessary to give references for any of this because it is quite uncontroversial. In Africa, a different human species was interbreeding with the Homo sapiens living there. Some of the DNA of this species is found in people from West Africa, relics of a so-called ghost population. DNA is not well preserved in the heat of sub-Saharan Africa, at least not as well as it is in northern Europe, and so nobody knows much about this species. It has been suggested that it might have been a relict population of Homo erectus. Certainly, skulls have been unearthed in Nigeria which date from only a few thousand years ago, but have primitive species indicating they may belong to a hybrid species, rather as in Europe, hybrids of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were emerging. Again, this is all standard stuff, and I see nothing out of the ordinary about it. Since this crossbreeding between different human species was taking place in distinctive ways in Africa, Europe, and Asia, where three of the old classifications of human races are to be found, this is probably not altogether a coincidence. I suppose that what puzzles me is why people should be so touchy about discussions of this kind. Anybody can check any of this for themselves, and of course we may tease out implications and advance hypotheses to see if any of this past history might be relevant to what we observe today. It is this which some people find absolutely infuriating and denounce as racism. For the life of me, I cannot see why this should be. Does anybody really think that the fact that we now know that these different early species of humans lived in the geographical regions which roughly correspond to the major human races pure coincidence? Or is it reasonable to guess that it might be worth exploring the topic a bit? What is it about this which so frightens and horrifies people? Why is this subject taboo? I have not been able to work out why this should be, but the fact that Hope Not Hate mentions the idea twice in their short piece about me makes me think that it is very important to them that we do not look too deeply into the matter. I shall, needless to say, be speaking more about this topic in the near future.